far as you now being accepted because you're transgender, you may be, but that's a lie in and of itself, because the reality is there are many, many, many people that accept what you choose to be but don't agree with it. The fact that you feel like you're being accepted now is because you only surround yourself with people that are either A, transgender, or in the LGBTQ community, which is pretty normal. You see, when we grow up and we deal with things and we learn more about who we are, we put ourselves in groups that make us feel the same way, and we relate and we identify and we surround ourselves with people that believe the same thing that we do. The only reason that you feel accepted now is not because God made some mistake and you deciding that you're better than God makes it better. It's because you're simply surrounding yourself with people who think and feel exactly the same way that you do.
Actually, I want to add on to that. I want to say that I think that having protected classes based on inalienable features is ultimately not congruent with multiculturalism.
It's not. You can't have it.
Right. So I think this is actually an important issue.
This whole idea of different races and cultures living together side by side, it's not really been tried before. It really hasn't.
I start telling Christian suburban moms that you are not going to allow their pastor to preach what they want to preach about marriage. Start infiltrating our belief system. Start infiltrating our private schools. Start messing with our kids. Start indoctrinating our kids. See how long that lasts. I think you underestimate the passion and the protectiveness of suburban Christian moms. This will start a war in this country. This will start a war in this country if you try to influence our kids through indoctrinating them at school or at church or whatever. If you mess with our private institutions that we have worked very hard to protect and to protect the religious liberty of, you will start a war.
First, started accusing the president of just, being a heartless murderer and killing all these people, the defenseless Kurds. He says, according to the president, he said, well, these are communists. These guys are all communists. And maybe you guys don't mind that so much.
Was that Robert Downey Jr. never go full retard?
Yeah.
I mean, off the bat.
So here's why the ceasefire is such a big deal. Because you've got these innocent Kurds in northern Syria. The problem is that the area where they live is controlled by the PKK. You might have seen that name thrown around. And the PKK is a Kurdish Marxist militia. And the PKK loves communism. And they love to start trouble. And although the Barack Hussein Obama administration attempted to convince us otherwise, those people are not our allies. The PKK uses us so that we'll give them weapons. But they don't really like us, all right? Because they're commies. They're commies who kill a lot of people. And they use suicide bombers, and sometimes they attack Turkey. And that is exactly why Turkey considers them to be terrorists. So, I don't know. If they consider them to be terrorists, that might be why Turkey hates them. And so as soon as we pulled our troops out of that area, Turkey felt like they needed to roll in and attack the Kurds, lest they open themselves up to more violence. And I've said this before, I don't pretend to be an expert on this.